discussing estate planning. Yes, when you hear estate planning, it's not about planning for your estate that you want to build. Though. This is basically, talking about how you plan or manage your wealth or all the things that you've acquired over the years, pending the time that you pass away. So, estate planning is what we'll be talking about. But before then, let's ask some thought provoking questions. And the first one is do you have enough money? Are you spending enough time with your family and friends? Do you come home from work or your job full of life? In this Lagos, do you have time to participate in things you believe are worthwhile? If you were laid off from your job, would you see it as an opportunity? Are you satisfied with the contribution you've made to the world? Are you at peace with money? Does your job reflect your value? Do you have enough savings to see you through 6 months of normal living expenses? Is your life whole? Do all the peace, your job, your expenditures, your relationship, your values fit together? Then the last one, do you have a will?
Okay, I take the second question. The first question I have says, what are your three most important goals in life right now? What are your three most pressing problems right now? And the third one says, describe the ideal outcome you desire from a problem facing you right now. And the next one says, what one thing would you dare to attempt if you knew you could not fail? And the last one says, what do you really want to do with your life? Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much, Esther. That is a very important question. What do you want to do with your life right now? Very important, thought-provoking question. That takes me to our topic of today in Investors Education Series, which is estate planning. But before we go into the discussion, I want to give a background of estate planning. Like Gina said earlier, estate planning is not your estate that you want to build or you are planning to build. When we started this series with principles of financial planning, and we're told in that lecture that there are 7 plans to your financial planning. You have 7 plans that make up your financial plan. And one of those plans is your savings plan. And we have seen what is savings, why we need to save, strategies for us to save our savings plan. Now, I want to go a step further. Let us look at what is the next step after our savings plan. Another plan, again, that makes up the 7th plan in financial planning is your estate plan. And you can do this other planning, but if you have not planned for your estate, then there is a problem. A man dies on a Friday. On a Monday, there is not food in his house to eat because the wife does not have access to his wealth. And before you know what, African tradition, the family have come and they have said, Madam, you are leaving the house. Nobody takes care of the children. In fact, there is even this popular advert I used to listen to when they said, no, all the houses in VGC belong to me, the brother. All the house in Lekki, phase 1. Then the house in Okokomaiko belong to the wife. You can't see. Which shows that that particular man has not done his estate planning. So estate planning just simply, after you have accumulated so much, you've made so much money, you have saved, you have invested, and all your investments are bringing returns to you, you have to protect your investments. When the good Lord calls you, what happens to those loved ones you are leaving behind? People that you want them to benefit from your wealth. So planning your estate gives you that opportunity to direct where you want your wealth to go? Who and who you want them to benefit? Because if you don't plan your estate, then of course, the government will plan it for you.
Which government?
When you die.
Or your greedy
when you
family
die,
members.
when you die, you pay all your family members.
Family members.
And all that.
The woman will be the one to
suffer. Okay, so it's a need for us to see the importance of estate planning. But again, in this part of the world, they tell it's on African to write a will. So if you want to write my will now, my wife will say, that means you want to die very soon. And it does not follow that way. And we have been told who can write a will. Anybody, as long as you are above, I think it's 18 to 21 years, you are an adult, you earn income, you can write a will. And it does not mean that because you have written the will, you can't change it. As your circumstances changes, your wealth, you accumulate more, nothing stops you from going to talk to your lawyers again to continue to change your will. As long as you are alive, you can continue to change your will. In fact, that's what lawyers even call a codicil. It's an attachment to a will. You don't want to change the will, but you can do additional. So you can see that as long as you are alive, you can continue to write your will, you can continue to change it, you can continue to improve on it, you can continue to change beneficiaries, in that will. So we should not say, because there are two things that are very, very, no matter whether you like it or not, paying your tax, you can't escape it. And of course, debt must always come. We all have appointment with debt, and we should not shy away from it. So now, what is estate planning? Okay, Gina.
All right, so we'll go into the questions for this segment. So we should start. I think you've explained what estate planning is.
And we can just take it for the benefit of our listeners again.
Okay, what then is estate planning for those of our listeners that just joined us?
Okay, estate planning is the process of arranging your estate, your assets, in a way that will minimize the tax you pay on those properties. And when we talk of your assets, your shares, your houses, money in the bank account, your pension money, that is your RSA, and any other valuable that you have accumulated while alive. So to ensure that your assets will be distributed to your beneficiary, to your heirs, your loved ones, as you wish, rather than as dictated by maybe culture or by your relations, as dictated by you. That is estate planning.
Also, the next one, why would I need estate planning? Why does anyone need estate planning? Anyone above the age or anyone that has gotten to the legal age needs estate planning.
Well, we look at it from this way. Why do you need, they say dead men don't buy it. And in our profession, we have seen people who eat from they feed from the dead. Yes, because, like we have said, the dead person did not plan their estate very well, and their family members are not even aware that that they have this kind of assets. I don't want to speak as a lawyer because I am not a lawyer. I want to speak as a stockbroker because we come across people with assets, that is shares, a lot of shares, and their family members are not aware that they have accumulated so much of these shares. And maybe those who are working with them or those who are close to them, they get to know and they take advantage of that. So they go and do everything. They will be the one benefiting from those assets, those shares. And that's why we are saying for this series, investors have to listen properly. So your question again is, why do you need estate planning? It's because of all these issues that we just need to. Now, why do I need, or why should anybody need estate planning? You will still have goals to achieve when your life ends. Yes, you have goals. You don't want to be in the other side of the wall and you are seeing, of course, I know that they see us, your loved ones are not happy with you. Would you want that kind of a thing?
Of course not.
So even at death, you could still achieve your goal. And you have to do that before the good Lord calls you. So achieving those kind of goals when you have gone is why you need to do your estate planning. So providing for the support of your spouse and children. So you need estate planning. That is one. Then, of course, like we said in the intro, the man dies on a Friday, on a Monday, there's no food in the house. No proper estate planning. Because your spouse and your children should be aware of your finances. If they are aware of your finances, then of course, they will take charge and take control. So if you die on a Friday, things will continue on a Monday because of estate planning. Another one again is avoiding delays and expenses in your estate settlement. Because some persons will come that you were owing.
Them.
Yes, if you are owing the bank certain loans you have not finished paying, you won't go free like that. The bank will charge to your estate whatever is left to take their money and all that. So, but with your estate planning, the people you have appointed, because you could appoint somebody in your will. That is, I'm assuming now that you have written a will. Okay? Yes, you might not have even written a will, because when you write a will, lawyers will tell you that person has died testate. That is, the will is valid. You can take the will to the probate registry of any fair high court, and it will be worked upon. Then they will now carry out all those things you have written in the will. Now, if you have not written a will, lawyers will tell you that you die intestate. That is, without a will. Yes, your loved ones can approach a court to obtain what we call a letter of administration, giving them legal authority to administer your estate. All that can be done. Okay, another reason why you need to plan your estate is granting your peace of mind. So that you have peace of mind wherever you are. Well, and I don't know when they say rest in peace, whether it is actually resting in peace. Again, distributing your asset as you wish. You know, you have that joy when you are dead, that once you leave this earth, the way you have arranged your assets to go, this my house in VGC, go to my wife and the children. This my car, go to this person. This my old suit, go to my uncle in the village. You'll be happy that your wish will be carried out.
What if your uncle don't want your old suit?
Well, they have the choice of rejecting it.
As you say, he had houses.
Cars. You are not giving me suit. Where will I wear suit to the farm?
Well, it depends on you. So if he refuses, that will be his own cup of tea. But you will have had peace of mind that as you are living, the way if you had been alive, this is how you have distributed your wealth into good way, because you left with a valid will. That is the most important thing. It's not difficult to write a will. Just get any lawyer, you write, pay some fees, and they will just keep it there. So your will becomes effective the day you leave this earth. However, estate planning does not mean that you must write a will. There are some persons after a certain age, they can form maybe a trust.
Okay.
Yes, a trust. And all the beneficiaries of the trust are the wife and the children. So, and it does not own any property. It is the trust that owns those property. And they can appoint maybe the wife or the senior children as the operators of that trust. So when he dies, they just continue. It's just like having your shares and even your property. You incorporate a company and you make your wife and children as directors. So once you die, it's just a change of directors. This director has passed on. You go to the bank, change the signatory. Your wife and children will still continue running that company and running your property. So there are several ways that you can plan your estate But I would advise that you meet an attorney, a lawyer who is vast in that area, or you can meet a trust department of some financial institutions. You call them maybe trustees. They can assist you in planning your estate.
Also, we've been talking about estate, but it's time to kind of shed more light on the word will, having a will, because some people still do not have like a perfect understanding or grasp of what a will is. So, what is a will?
Yes, looking at it from a layman's point of view, a will is just simply a will can be oral also. Yes, a will can be oral. If somebody's in the armed forces and is going to the war front and there's no time to write anything down, you can just say, as I'm going to the war, anything happens to me, let my benefit goes to my next of kin, go to my children. And somebody is witnessing there. It can be taken as a
without any evidence.
Of course, it can be taken as a will.
It happens that a man dies and they need to assess his will. They need to like give out his belongings based on his will. And the person that was his witness, the day he did the oral will,
yes,
is also dead. So what happens?
Okay, and that's why yes, you have some challenges when it comes to
oral
that kind
will.
of oral will.
Yes.
But you can also have a pre-recorded. Now that we have so many devices, somebody can just hold his device and start speaking. Yes, in his house.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That means there is form of evidence, not that
Yes,
you just verbally tell
No, I just say
somebody.
people do have oral will. Yes. Yeah, you can record your will and you keep
Someone
it.
that has
Yes.
house in Banana Island should do verbal will from you. Because I will not
No,
deliver
but
the
again,
message.
that can be contested. Even a will that is recorded, written down, people contest it in court.
Yes.
So that oral will can be contested. Okay, so that is. But looking at it from a legal point of view, let's see what lawyers will say. They say a will is a legal document that details what you wish to do with your assets and instruct your executor or executrix to carry out your wishes upon your debts. So just simply you write, give it an instruction that when I die,
So this goes to this person, that goes to
and it's only going to be effective the very moment you passed on. Yeah, so that is a will. And for a will to be valid, there are certain things. You must have written it with your sound mind. Yes, we have seen cases where family members can even force somebody to write a will.
Yes.
Yeah.
or they will even manipulate the person.
It, So that's why we say weaknesses are very important.
But see, there was something that happened. Something that happened to someone that I know. The man wrote his will, and he didn't give it to his lawyer. Like, I think he kind of knew that he was going to pass away soon.
Okay.
So he wrote the will and gave to like the parish priest in his community, sealed it and everything. I don't even want to mention the other thing he put on the will. So when he passed, he willed most of his properties to his nephews, his wife. He doesn't have kids. But there was a boy that they kept putting on him that this is your son, this is your son. At one point he had to accept, sent him to school, even though the young man did not do well, blah, 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 and all that. So he did not give the young man anything. And he blatantly stated it in that will that so and so person is not my child.
Wow.
Now, so and so person is not my child, and nothing should go to him. But let me now tell you the other side of this particular story. The family, and he also stated that that will should not be read until he has been buried, because he knows that if that will were to be read before maybe now they will just leave in corpse outside, rain will fall on top. Because a lot of people got upset with what was in that will.
But he has been buried.
He has been buried. So people now say that even in death, this man has smarted us. So one thing that the elders now did was that some of the nephews rejected some of those things.
Okay.
That they don't want it, they don't want to be associated anything
with
whatever he has left them, and that young man deserves to get something from it and all that. So the elders now did like they now reshared everything.
Okay.
Is that not going against?
But that's going against his wish. Well, it depends. If the other beneficiaries, maybe the wife, if they don't challenge it, I don't think that
they did not challenge it, and although some of the nephews they refused some of the things, landed properties and
that
things like they refused it. So when those ones refused, they gave to the young man.
Fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But there was no lawyer involved. There should be a lawyer.
There was no lawyer involved.
No, lawyers are always involved because you cannot that will cannot become legal if it has not gone through the probate
He himself did not involve a lawyer.
So the family members cannot. I think the family members cannot do
that. Was not a valid will. Was it a valid will? Legally speaking. Though
but I think they just honored it because of he's the owner of his property and he has said this is how I want my thing to be.
You know, this even reminds me of this story he just mentioned of how men also behave. Like this one, you know, fella has even sang a song, Double Wahala for Dead Body. You know, like you have said, this man too had a wife, had children, they were doing very well, and when he died, he wrote a will too, like you said, but he didn't say when he is buried. That's when. No, but it was even during the funeral ceremony, as it was going on inside the church, that the wife now saw 3 children with another woman, the same Ashoibi. Okay, Ashoibi is what do we call Ashoibi?
Like
kind
a
of uniform they wore there, and for the family. A young woman with 3 children, you know, came to the church, sat in one side, and she was curious. She was looking at her with her own 4 children who are much more grown up, and her, and the funeral was just going on normally. She couldn't take it, you know. I think when they now called for maybe the spouse to come and do something, the woman too stood up, and the woman got upset. So apparently, he had another wife somewhere with 3 children, which no member of his family was aware. But the most senior person in his family, I'm sure, in the city where he resides, the most senior man knew. So that was not surprised. And the wife that everybody knew got so upset. So as they brought the cup, is it coffee they call it? Whatever. She pushed it, and the dead body fell off.
Hey.
You know, the priest was trying to make it, but she just scattered everywhere. What rubbish is this? Okay, so you can see how even at death, that's why Fela sang double wahala for dead body. You know, and at the end of the day, they had to restore peace.
That's one of the lessons of, you know, keeping secrets from your partner. Just like what Esther and I were discussing about of a clip that was online of a woman crying. She called on this show on TVC. She was crying.
Okay, Your View.
Yes, that she just found out that her husband has a different sexual orientation, and they already have 2 children already. And that the man is pressuring her to come back whether she likes it or not, blah 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 blah. And some people in the comment section giving some comments, like some of those things are very misleading.
Yeah.
Yes, if you know that okay you have children, allow your partner to know. So why would they find out in death? Do you understand? I think it kind of ruins all the good memories they would have ever had of you, because nothing can ever make up for that kind of lies and deceit. That is the height of deceitfulness.
And that's why we are doing this program, to enlighten our investors that please and please, if you have those kind of issues, we're not judging you. What we are saying, disclose to your partner and try to live a very open and transparent life, you know. So that is what happened to somebody who has not planned for his estate. Again, some people have said the man could have been smarter. You could have settled the other wife even while alive. You don't even allow them to come to that funeral. But you know what women are? They might want to say, of course, I
Me
have
too, I have
children for
equal
you.
rights.
I have equal rights and all that. But anyway, that's not the subject of this investors education series. What we are trying here to do is, investors, please, it is good for you to write your will so that even at death you can direct where your assets will go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we have taken what is a will, Rabi. So
Yes. Also, the next question: how can one ensure that their assets in a will are distributed as according to their wish?
yes, like we have said, if you have executed a proper will, then the probate process will ensure that your instructions are carried out. Your will should include complete instruction as how you want your asset distributed after your death. So that is probate now. The probate will ensure, because the probate has to, it's a legal process that you'll be granted probate by any high court. They will give it a legal backing. So if you want your wishes to be carried out, then it has to go through probate. But the question will now be, what is probate?
Okay, can you clarify what
A probate is a court process that provides a systematic method of paying a deceased debt and fulfilling the instructions to the deceased estate documents. Probate fee is paid to the government. So you can say you pay a fee to the government, and government ensures that that's your will. The instructions in your will is carried out.
Okay.
Let's go for a short break.